Yeah.
Yeah. So just looking at something slightly to the side of this, um, do you have in your mind, are there any particular criteria that you would put down as the type of companies that are ideal for you to be able to assist on this kind of output and outcome basis? Are there any particular criteria? Because I'm just thinking really around the complexities of delivering work in this way, in the sense that the service provider will be very adept at doing this because they're, as a service provider, that's what you're doing. It's your bread and butter to provide the services and do the work in that way. But providing that into those organizations, in some organizations, if you've got extremely bad processes, they may struggle to adopt it. And that's potentially where you get a bit of a disconnect of stuff not being scoped properly and bad process. You must have seen plenty of that when you're looking at it from the management side.
Hmm.
What's your kind of view on that in terms of what type of organizations are likely to be ready and what other organizations need to do to make themselves ready to be able to leverage this?
Yeah. Um, Again, another great question, Johnny. Again, you again frame it organizationally, but where the work is consumed is departmentally or functionally, et cetera. So I tend to think there, right? So the organization, a procurement organization, they're a partner to the business, right? And they can provide they provide a like I love my procurement friends. They provide a very valuable service to the organization, but the work is actually being consumed in the particular departments or functions, et cetera. So those organizations that are best prepared, we're working with the consumers of the service, right? So we can go through and will go through, of course, a formal procurement process where it's appropriate, et cetera. But if we're not engaged with the business to understand what they're looking to accomplish, and if they're not willing to invest in that process to do so, we're not going to be successful. The other thing as a service provider is we need to clearly understand our field of play. We're not just an IT services provider. There's specific practices and areas of expertise where we can offer value, and in turn we can compete and win. It's not everything to everyone. So it's making sure that we're in the right field of play where we can be successful, but we're engaged not with just with our partners in procurement, we want them, but also with the business, because that's where, when we talk about those details that matter on the front end, we're able to provide a better proposal and in turn execute for a better product.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. I think it's something that far more organizations are in the position to do this, but like you say, it depends on the individual stakeholders in a lot of cases. But I think there's far more of an expectation that this is just very normal and far more part of the typical way that of the kind of workforce mix that organizations should have. And also it's under more scrutiny now. If we go back to the management side, people want to know what's happening. They want the visibility on it.
That's right.
They don't just want to see a purchase order and are we hitting our budget? What projects are these companies working on? Are they doing a good job? Should we be using them for other work?
Yeah,
Are we always
that's right.
using? I don't know why poor Accenture, they always get used as an example because they're the first in the alphabet. But
Yeah.
why are we always using Accenture? Have we got smaller service providers that are more specialist in,
Yeah.
Accenture
And
might
that
be
goes to the example that I shared, right? Where, yeah, Accenture is one of those big ones. Does that make sense for that project or the other? And we do those comparators. And that's where, to give you a plug, I mean, certainly that's where a Zivio can offer tremendous value and intelligence in terms of helping to credibly inform that decision-making process. And that's where I think procurement can really partner so effectively with the business. You want these outcomes working together. We can help you craft that and also bring in the right tools and solutions that provide for a better buying and ultimately solution experience.
No, I really appreciate that. And yeah, completely agree with you. And it doesn't really matter how organizations do it, but they should have that data. They
Yeah.
should have that information. If they want to operate strategically, the world operates on data now. And if then most organizations haven't got access to that, within their
Yeah.
services spend, which is crazy because of the size of it.